So this Britney Spears K-Fed drama is really starting to heat up. And I kind of feel like I am back in the early 2000s or something. Because this is the most traction the Britney Spears story or situation has gotten in a while. And it's like, once again, we're back to like 2005 type stuff, talking about drama going on between Britney and Kevin Federline. As I reported to you guys in my last video, K-Fed has a new tell-all memoir book coming out next week. In this book, he is revealing a lot of new information never told before, okay? He's revealing a lot of secrets about Britney, about his relationship with Britney, and about how kind of crazy she is behind the scenes. And from what I'm hearing, there's a good bit of stuff in his book that we don't know about yet. There's already been some bombshells that have dropped, and he claims that he kind of held back in this book. So I'm really wondering how bad this situation is. Now, we know a few of his claims already. I'll go over some of those claims in future videos. We already talked about the fact that he revealed that the reason why, or one of the main reasons why, his sons, him and Britney's kids, no longer wanted to stay with Britney or be around Britney is because she scared them off. They would often wake up in the middle of the night and Britney would be standing in their doorway with a knife just staring at them, looking crazy. And if they woke up and caught her, she would run off with no explanation at all. So I think these kids were actually afraid for their lives. Like legit afraid for their lives. And there's other claims out there as well, like I said, that we'll go over. But Britney Spears has responded. And it's funny because her response came a little early because Kevin Federline's book does not come out until like next Tuesday. I think like October 21st. Yet she's already responding to some of the allegations in his book. And as someone who has been following and covering Britney for a few years now, I can tell you that this response was not written by Britney. Maybe it's ChatGPT, maybe she had AI help her, maybe she had a friend help her, I don't know. But this is not how Britney types. However, let's just go over this response. She posted this to X. The constant gaslighting from ex-husband is extremely hurtful and exhausting. I have always pleaded and screamed to have a life with my boys. Relationships with teenage boys is complex. I have felt demoralized by this situation and have always asked and almost begged for them to be a part of my life. I want to pause right there. I'm not a parent. But from everything I've heard, yeah, it's complicated when raising kids, especially around those teenage ages, right? So I understand it can be complex. It can be complicated. But you want to know what makes the situation way more complicated and complex? Well, I think it makes the situation way more complex when you have the mother in the situation basically naked on social media every day, twirling around in circles, making a fool of herself. I think teenagers already have it tough enough. You know, those are the awkward years, right? Now, to have to make it through your teenage years while your mother is publicly on Instagram, it's not like it's behind a paywall or an OnlyFans. No, she's on Instagram publicly in front of millions of people, basically naked every day, looking insane. Imagine going to school and being made fun of because what your mother is doing on Instagram. So she made the situation way more complex than it had to be. And look, I think celebrity kids have it tough as well. On one hand, they have it easy financially. But when it comes to the portion of really trying to figure out who you are, living in the shadows of your mother or your father who's famous, it can be complicated. It's something that me and you don't really understand. But I think Kevin Federline, you can say what you want about him, I think he did a good job with their kids. He did whatever he could to keep them out of the limelight, right? To keep the media's attention and everything off of them so they can live relatively normal lives. So, that's something different than what we see with a lot of celebrities' kids. A lot of celebrities' kids are kind of screwed up. I think Britney's kids, I won't say had a 100% normal upbringing, but as normal as possible. And I think Kevin Federline did a good job with them. But Britney complaining about the relationship with her kids, I don't think that she can blame everyone else. At some point, you have to look in the mirror. At some point, you have to look within. And in all of these situations, Britney is always blaming someone else for a failed relationship or when things go wrong between her and someone else. But I think Britney is the problem, and I think that is very clear. But before I go on any further, let's go ahead and hop back into Britney's post. So she says that the relationship with her teenage boys is complex. She says, sadly, they have always witnessed the lack of respect shown by my own father for me. They need to take responsibility for themselves. With one son only seeing me for 45 minutes in the past 5 years, and the other with only 4 visits in the past 5 years. I have pride too. From now on, I will let them know when I am available. Trust me, these white lies in that book, they are going straight to the bank, and I am the only one who genuinely gets hurt here. I will always love them, and you really know me, or if you really know me, you won't pay attention to the tabloids of my mental health and drinking. I am actually a pretty intelligent woman who has been trying to live a sacred and private life the past 5 years. I speak on this because I have had enough, and any real woman would do the same. So she says, if you know me, you won't pay attention to what they say about my mental health or me drinking. My response to that is, obviously I don't know Britney personally, but I think I know her better than a lot of her fans because of how closely I've been covering her mental breakdown ever since she got out of the conservatorship. Knowing Britney, or knowing what I know about Britney, I'm definitely not going to write off any claims about your mental health or you drinking. It's right on par with what I see in front of my face. She's saying, hey, if you know me, you know this isn't true. No, I think the people who know you know it's true. They know it all too well, which is why she was put in the conservatorship to begin with. Not many people close to Britney come out and tell you, oh, she's doing okay, she's doing fine. No. In fact, every couple of months we hear from Britney's friends or a new source comes forward saying that Britney's crazy and they're scared for her life. So I don't think she understands the way a lot of the world views her right now. And that's largely due to a lot of her fans still being Yes Queen fans, blowing smoke up her ass, acting like everything she does is magnificent, when in reality it's kind of crazy and disturbing. But she also says that she's been living a sacred and private life. A sacred and private life where? I see Britney more than I see any other celebrity. I see Britney basically naked or half naked on almost a daily basis, spinning around in circles. It's like the exact opposite of private. And that's why I say I don't think she even understands what she does, let alone how we view what she does. Because in her mind, she's living this sacred private life. But, I mean, when we're watching her get naked and dance around like a buffoon on Instagram in front of over 40 million followers. That doesn't seem private to us. Maybe that seems private to her. But I am glad because you see over on X, she cannot disable her comments, or she doesn't know how to yet. So you get to see the real reactions from the public, to her post. And there's still a lot of yes queens. There's still a lot of delusional people acting like she's okay. But there's also a lot of people calling her out now. And when I first started covering this story, it literally took years for me to find one negative comment in the comment section. It took me years to find comments from people kind of saying, hey, this doesn't look right, because people were gaslighting her for years on end as she would spin around psychotically. But now the comment sections look so much different. I don't want to cherry pick here. I want to just read just some of the natural comments that show up first for me. So let's go ahead and take a look. Sending you so much love and support. It's truly shameful what people have done to you for money. Your kids will learn the truth in time. So starts off kind of positive there. And then let's go to the next comment. Your weird Instagram post tells a different story. If that's not true, you please let your supporters know. Dancing half naked and looking intoxicated is not a strong case for custody of your kids. So many people are praying for you. I don't envy your situation at all. I hope you find God and find peace with yourself before your sons. Dancing publicly in scant clothing is possibly responsible for the lack of respect. You show yourself is what you teach others. Role models don't do that. Then this person says, you're nuttier than elephant shit. Just from reading your captions on Instagram, I can't help but wonder who wrote this for you. Exactly, Megan. She did not write this herself. As a mom of 2 boys and 2 girls, I'll tell you what no one else wants to. The problem is you. Get sober, stay on meds, get a sponsor, stop acting so precious, focus on their needs instead of your own. When they want nothing to do with you, do the right thing anyway privately, grow up. Sacred and private life, Britney. Have you looked at your Insta? Please, for the love of God, find God. I'll help you by any means, but you cannot do this to yourselves or family any longer. I'm so sorry, Britney. I'm 41. I had my kids extremely young. My oldest daughter refuses to speak to me since 2020. My other daughter refuses to acknowledge anything I say or text, but will communicate with me here and there. This person says, they turned a woman's pain into a tabloid genre, then monetized the echo. Her collapse wasn't private. It was televised with a laugh track, and when she tried to reclaim her life, they called it unstable. You watched it happen. You watched a custody war. Then this person says, bitch, you've been acting crazy as F all over social media. Your kids are scared of you. Get your effing crap together. Their father has been nothing but a loving and caring parent. You have been an unstable, knife-wielding lunatic. Spare me your outrage. Maybe you should thank him for being the stable one that has cared for them while you make weird videos in your bikini. Devote your life to God and repent. Stop posting the weird videos so you will be believed as a true adult and a committed parent. Parent alienation is a very serious thing. Sons are very complex, especially when influenced by a father of divorce. Those boys know your love. Those boys know you love them, and once they mature just a little bit more and see things as they are, that phone of yours will be ringing off the hook. If I danced around in my underwear with knives like a psycho and posted it online, my 2 teenage boys would not want anything to do with me either. I hope you seek help for your kids' sake. Parental alienation is real and should be a crime. Dear lady, we sympathize with you, but your Dear lady, we sympathize with you, but your ladder does not go all the way to the roof. Britney, I wish you the best in the name of Jesus Christ. I wish that you will soon have normal weekly visits with your kids, and from there be able to regain normal 50-50 custody. Some advice: stop dancing with knives. It's not a good look for your boys. So, listen, there's so many more comments, but that's just some of the first ones that appeared to me. And just judging by this little sample size, we see that we still have a few delusional people, right? Acting like Britney's not the problem, blaming everyone else. So your kids will find out one day and, oh, it's okay, Britney, my kids hate me too. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you got actual sane people who are willing to tell the truth in the comments, which is something that we used to not see. And it's refreshing to see people saying, hey, look, we don't hate you. We're not trying to be mean, but this is why you have this problem. Your kids don't respect you, not because of your ex-husband, but because of the behavior that you put on display for the world to see every day. How can you expect your kids to respect you when they see you on Instagram twirling around piles of dog poop that you refuse to pick up, while you have smudged mascara all over your face and you look like you haven't slept or bathed in weeks, right? She's not setting a good example. And as I've pointed out in the past, imagine your mother being one of the biggest pop stars ever. Imagine how cool your life could be. Yet her sons want nothing to do with it. They don't want to be around Britney. They'd rather go live a more normal life with K-Fed, as far away from Britney as possible. And the last 5 years, one has only seen her for a few minutes. The other kid has visited her a few times. I know he actually visited her recently. Personally, I want Britney to be able to mend this relationship with her kids, because I believe that is the biggest step in Britney getting better and returning to planet Earth and maybe holding on to whatever sanity that she has left. I think that Britney has to make things right with her kids. Then and only then can Britney make things right with herself. That's my opinion. I think that her having a relationship with her kids would help her balance out her life. But now her kids are getting older. And her kids are getting to that age where they're going to be experimenting and they're going to be doing things. And they need a level-headed parent in their life. They don't need a parent that they have to parent too. It's weird because her sons are, around 19, 20. They're getting into like the drinking, partying age, right? But it feels like she's the same age as them. It doesn't feel like she's their mother. It feels like she's like their peer because she's still doing the crazy stuff that her kids should be doing. Like her kids should be the one in their bathing suits on the island shooting videos high and doing stuff, not Britney. You know what I mean? But it's good to see that some people are holding her accountable now. I think that Britney could gain a lot from actually reading the comments. I think she needs a dose of reality. I think she needs a wake-up call. Because all this playing victim and acting like everyone else is to blame all the time, it's not working out. Especially now that we see that Britney really is the problem. And anyone who's paying attention who is not in denial, they can see that. So, I don't know. Maybe K-Fed coming out and dropping this information, maybe it will be a wake-up call for Britney to get her stuff together. Maybe, if anything, it will inspire her to, hey, let me get my ish together to prove K-Fed wrong. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Because unlike Britney's fans, I want her to get better. I don't want her to be in the state that she's in now forever. But they're perfectly okay with that because something's probably wrong with them too. I don't know. We've talked about it a lot over the years. But for now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.